Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to another episode of Living World of Darkness. Rage Across New York, the Guru venue. Today's episode centers on the Sept of the Green, particularly the forge of the Sept of the Green, and a guru by the name of Clay Sutton, Iron Beat. He's woken up today with a very important task in mind. Recently, he's come to a decision that was rather hard for him to make. He's now within a sept that accepts him for who he is. It doesn't apply any sort of expectation to him as a Metis. It doesn't even imply any sort of expectation to him as an Ahroun. But it accepts Clay as, well, Clay. This sort of violent shift in thinking compared to how he was treated at the Sept of the Iron Bull has led him to realize a few things. For one, it's led him to look at the blood that's been on his hands, at least the blood that he believes is on his hands for many years. And even though it isn't the purview of those born under the full moon, he's decided that he wants to do something that will start to make up for it, start to pay for it. So he wakes up this morning at the forge where he does most of his work for the Sept. He goes to the Fianna Castle, and it's a bright orange thermos, very full of very strong coffee. The kind of coffee you gotta chew. And he goes looking for Here Comes the Boom.
Here Comes the Boom is not hard to find today. He is stumping around with a little more vigor than usual. Not necessarily in a great way. Clay finds him on the New York side of the gauntlet, not even in a veil-protected part of the Sept, kicking trash around one of the garbage cans. Most of the cans around Sept tend to be kept fairly tidy, but because this is a Bonar Sept, there are areas that the trash is artistically arranged for spirit reasons. And this Clay will know is one of them. And Here Comes the Boom is doing his theurge duties with some crankiness this morning. It looks like an old homeless guy having a hissy fit at the garbage. Very convincing for veil purposes, but
He watches for a while, and Clay will raise a hand when Here Comes the Boom happens to turn around in his direction. Hey, boss. Care to take a break with me?
Does Clay hold up the coffee?
Yes.
His expression changes. He glances at Clay, glances at the garbage, leans down, picks a piece up, sets it back down about 2 feet over, and then comes shuffling towards Clay with his eyes on the coffee. Says, well, I'm glad to see you. And he might be talking to the coffee.
He'll chuckle. He'll take out a ceramic cup that he has in a coat pocket and pour Here Comes a Moon, a very healthy cup of coffee before taking the little plastic cup of the thermos and pouring himself a cup of coffee.
For anybody watching, it just looks like this nice young man in a strange little beanie has offered the homeless guy some coffee, and the homeless guy is grateful to accept. He waits patiently and then just kind of cradles the cup and lets the smell waft up into his nose. Says, good morning, Ironbeat.
Morning, boss.
How are you doing?
How am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Little bit of good, little bit of bad. Can't complain.
You want to talk about it? He kind of shakes the coffee cup gingerly so he doesn't spill it, and he says, I'm on break.
He chuckled. You got the time, I got the words.
I got the time.
I got the
Let's go
words.
somewhere.
Clay will carefully reach into a back pocket and take out a crumpled piece of paper. He will place it very pointedly on top of the nearest flat surface.
Okay. That's probably the garbage can.
Oh, okay.
The lid of the garbage can.
I meant like the nearest flat surface of like the pile of garbage.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, and just sort of there's my there's my contribution for the day.
Mm-hmm. He grins and starts shuffling off.
He will follow.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Were you going to say something?
No, he's gonna follow.
Okay. Yeah, he shuffles.
Here comes the moon pick the spot.
Okay. Once they are, once this time of day, especially on a Saturday, there's joggers and wanderers of all kinds, and he waits until there's a lull in the traffic around them. Then he just kind of steps off into the brush and takes a shortcut to the paths that are less wandered, because for people who are not Garu or kinfolk, they disappear when people look for them. And it's not long before you two are surrounded by not much but trees.
He'll sit down, plastic cup of coffee still in hand.
He groans like a house settling as he plops himself next to Clay. But he curls up with his coffee and looks actually fairly content. It's warm, the day's getting on sunny. It's starting to heat up a little bit.
You seem a little busy. What's got you riled so hard?
Motherfuckers woke me up in the middle of the night. Make sure we weren't about to be all murdered in our beds. Good news, we weren't. Appreciate them checking.
I see. That have anything to do with Milo going off about some spider person?
Sure fucking did. Sounds like
What
they,
is that?
that would be a spider shifter is my best guess. Not having seen it myself.
Mm.
It's hard to tell. They're all
And Clay's
different.
eyebrows disappear into the fucking beanie.
They're not really friendly, to put it lightly.
Well, shit. I didn't know those even existed.
Yes, sir. They don't serve Gaia. They don't serve the worm. Hypothetically.
Mm.
I
Who
don't
they
serve
serve
Gaia
then?
neither.
So they don't serve the worm, they don't serve Guy. What, you telling me they serve the Weaver?
Well, you'd have to ask them.
That
As far as
sounds
I can
weird.
tell, they mostly serve themselves.
Still sounds fucking weird.
He eyeballs Clay and kind of grins and says, well, weird's a word with a lot of meanings around here.
Fair enough.
You
At
got
least it
horns.
didn't. And at least it. I know I do. At least it didn't attack them. Or it didn't seem to, at least.
Yeah, it sounds to me like they're fucking lucky. They're tough cookies.
Mm. He nods.
I'm surprised it let him see him. But, well, it sounds like Moses and Missy went back and took care of that. So, you come to ask me how I slept?
Nah. Actually, I've come to inquire about your aid as a theurge to the nation.
Sure. How can I help?
He gets real serious for a second. Partly because he's sending a message, pack chat.
Fair. So he kind of sits back to consider, and what he's really doing is talking in his head. That's fine. He understands.
And partly because he's trying to figure out how to ask this question. So he looks up at Here Comes the Boom. And takes a deep breath.
He waits.
Now, I do understand that working deeply with the spirits is, well, it's not necessarily within the Ahroun purview. skill set guys provided us.
Well, y'all work with the spirits just fine, maybe just little hands on in your dealings.
That's fair. My pack is recently without a Theurge. We have no protection, no, no guide to the spirits.
I understand.
While I wouldn't want to tread any of the territory owned by those born under the crescent moon, it does seem that with recent events, it would help try the it would help the Sept, and more specifically, it would help my pack. Well, if I learn to heal, right, I don't mean how to triage or how to set broken bones. I mean healing by way of the way Guru were taught. Mother's touch.
He nods. You
I
want?
was wondering if you might help me.
Sure. Sure, I'd be glad to help you make a deal with the spirit. It seems like a valuable gift to know.
Especially we seem to be investigating some fishing nonsense in the city later today. All of us still remain. Behemoths might have cried, I guess.
Well, might be useful. The reason an Ahroun isn't usually the sort who learns those gifts is a lot of times you don't have the gnosis for it, but you're a Metis. You might have some to spare.
He
Born a little
smiles.
closer to the mother than most.
It's funny how that works.
It seems to me it's important. If you know what I mean?
I agree.
I think folks forget about that while they're busy scorning Metis. He hands Clay his cup, and then he cracks all his fingers, and then he reaches to take the cup back.
Clay will have filled it again by this time.
Oh, hey, that's even better. He looks delighted.
Yeah.
Geminage accepted.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be right back really quick. Gotta run to the bathroom.
Sure, absolutely. While you do that, he's going to walk Clay over to the heart of the cairn and start setting up a summoning ritual.
Excellent.
Meanwhile, I'll watch the little birds.
Go on. Don't you huff at me. Go back to bed. Go on. All right, I'm back.
Welcome back. How's it going?
It goes. Getting tired to go back to bed.
Oh.
So.
Okay, so here comes the boom has been working to set up a summoning ritual for a bear spirit. Y'all stop by the shed where he keeps a lot of his stuff, and he pulled out.
He'll stop him. He'll stop him when he goes to get stuff.
Mhm.
There's a few things I need to do in the outfit before we do this. And you can see, and here comes the boom. Can definitely see that Clay is uncomfortable saying he needs to go into the jungle,
Okay.
but he is resolute.
How about I meet you over there?
I appreciate that, Rye. And I know we can't spend the time, but it's difficulty 4, right? Or 3
What's difficulty 4?
to pass into the Umbra.
If you go to the heart of the cairn, you can just step across.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, he will just step across. He's gonna. I'm just gonna roll willpower really quick because he's doing it of his own volition and not under the orders of anyone.
Okay, sure.
So, and, oh, I didn't. I didn't. I want to see in here.
Y'all.
What?
Someone keeps scaring my birds. And it's just
That's not nice.
the doves don't fly away. Like, you really have to get closer to one of the Inca doves before it'll fly away. The fucking finches are gone the second you sneeze at them, but the doves just sit there and they're so fucking dumb. I love them so much. Don't just walk on each other. Just what? You're literally just standing on your friend.
All right, so he's going to have to spend a willpower
Oh man. Okay. Yeah.
to go into the Umbra.
Okay.
So I am spending a willpower to go into the Umbra.
Mm-hmm.
And once he gets there, he will slowly walk towards the largest body of water. And as he's walking, he will adopt Hispo.
Okay.
As
For going fishing, I'm assuming he's gonna head off Sept to one of the actual like rivers. Yeah.
yes,
Okay. It's gonna take him a while. Hopefully, he let Here Comes the Boom know that.
yes.
The kind of fishing bears do is shallow water as they come by. Kind of
Usually,
things.
usually shallow water in the face of rapids where
Mhm.
fish have to jump. So, and that is what he is doing.
And that particular the jumping that's so famous is very seasonal. So this is a different kind a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
you can definitely go and find some very cold water, a nice cold river this time of year.
The
And
fire wolf is going into very cold water.
right, right.
Yep.
How does he feel about this ice water? Being a fire wolf.
um, it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
It's hurting him. Not only willingly crossing into the Umbra himself, not on the orders of anyone else, but his own volition, but being in an element that so diametrically opposes
Mm-hmm.
his spiritual being. It just I'm gonna spend another willpower.
Don't. You might need it later today. You don't need to spend willpower, but
Okay.
yeah, mechanically, I'm not gonna make you do anything, but it's good to keep in mind. Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, you find yourself on this icy bank in Hispo, with licking flames and your horns. Go ahead and make me a
Hooves.
perception survival roll.
Perception survival.
And hooves, yep.
So that is gonna be 5. 89252.
Okay. If you could also make me a perception primal urge.
That was 6 dice.
Nice.
4 successes.
So Clay wanders along the river looking for the right kind of spot that might hold the fish that he's looking for. And you find a pool with shallow edges. As you're standing there near the water, considering with your hooves and your horns, you notice the faint reflection of the fire licking at the surface of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And you almost feel the attention of the fish spirits stir curiously at the twitches of light, and deep in the water below, you can see them starting to come to the surface. Kind of drift upward, trying not to look interested. Will you roll your stealth?
Yes. That is going to be... In Hispo, it is plus...
You currently have 7 dice total.
Two successes.
Okay. You manage to stand very, very still. Nothing moving except the light. Make me that brawl check.
Will do.
I'm sorry, that's 8 dice.
Yep.
I didn't answer your question before.
Nothing.
Oh no. Clay lunges into the water. The fish gets away.
Yep.
Make me another stealth check to move downstream a little bit and find another spot to stand very quietly. Ooh, even better. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to add those successes to my brawl roll or no?
Sure. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Since you're ambushing this motherfucker. Seems legit. That's much better.
Where's that roll when I'm in combat? Fuck.
Big fat fish spirit comes bobbing to the surface to see what the fuck is up, and you get it in your teeth.
Mm-hmm. Shake.
Go ahead and make a damage roll.
All right, so that is... It's 5 successes over. So that's going to be 10... 12 dice, if my math is right.
Oh, hang on. It was a bite. 10 plus successes.
Oh, so 15 dice. Never mind.
Does Clay know Prayer for the Prey?
No, he doesn't.
Ooh. I'm going to try and remind you to roll that.
But he will bring it to... he will bring it to...
Here comes a boom.
Here comes a boom. And if we want to make this into Here Comes a Boom, also showing him how to do Prayer for the Prayer, because it is a minor rite.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't rolled for a rite this week. Jesus Christ.
4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you kill the fish.
I killed a fish. And so he will have the spirit fish in his mouth, and he will approach Here Comes the Boom with the fish.
He's sitting with the stuff that he's gathered. There's nuts and berries. Some kind of animal pelt. A whole slew of things gathered to help attract the bear spirit. And when he sees Clay come trotting up in his bow with the fish, literally trotting because he's on hooves, he gives him a nod of approval.
And he will plop it on the pile, and he will look at Here Comes a Boom, and without shifting forms, he will ask in high speech. How do we pray for the prey we have killed?
He looks a little bit appalled that you don't know that, but glad that you're asking. And he rather hurriedly shifts into his own lupus form, which I have a picture of.
Yeah.
And he will begin to show you, to teach you that right. Where's the thing? Will you roll it in the miscellaneous dice roller instead of the scene dice roller
Sure.
for me, and make
Of
sure you
course.
tag it?
Of course.
Thank you.
What am I rolling?
Okay.
So, I believe, if I remember correctly, it is difficulty
It'll be
10 minus intelligence.
Uh-huh.
So that would be difficulty 7.
Okay.
And it
Intelligence
is
plus rituals.
intelligence plus rituals. All right, so it's 5 dice, difficulty 7. Oof.
Uh-oh, did you botch?
No, I just failed.
Okay. Well, that's good. You can learn another time then.
3 days, right?
Yes. Yep.
I will make a... Yep, 14th. I will make another roll.
Okay. Perfect. So you do not learn the ritual, but it's fine. It's fine for now. Okay. And he performs it, and the spirits are appeased enough for now. So that he is okay doing the summoning. He begins. It takes him a while. He's totally fine with you watching and learning this as well, though you won't actually be learning it today, obviously. And
Obviously not. Because somebody just failed.
Clay's been standing in icy water. He's in the umbra where he doesn't like to be. It's understandably hard for him. But it's not long before, kind of lumbering out of nowhere, comes an enormous bear spirit. The day is bright and cold, but it seems like as the summoning goes on, like it gets mistier where you guys are. And eventually the kind of shadows kind of seem to lump up around you guys, and then one of them stands up on its hind legs and it towers over both of you. And here comes the boom in lupus. Drops into kind of a play bow and growls. And do you have spirit speech?
I do not.
Okay. They have a conversation that you can't really understand, though if you'd like to roll animal ken, you may.
I don't think Clay has animal kin.
Okay.
No, he doesn't.
That's okay. You can still roll it. It's just at a +1 diff.
And what is it? Perception or
Yeah, sorry.
so? Nope, I botch.
Okay. You have no idea. You're 100% certain that Here Comes the Boom just threatened the shit out of this bear spirit, and they're probably about to kill each other.
Shit.
What do you do? That's a really good question. Here Comes the Boom has not asked you for help, but you're pretty sure that they're about to kill each other.
He won't growl, but the hackles will raise, and he will come. And he will come close to Here Comes the Boom.
Okay. You want to make an intimidation check? You're like, no.
No, but probably. I go no, but definitely probably for. I'm guessing even in Hispo, the manipulation still is 3. And
it's yeah, yep.
Intimidation. Oh, there it is. So 5 dice.
Mm-hmm.
If this is a whole bunch of 9s and 10s, I'm gonna be pissed, Dice Stream. I swear to God.
I just scared all the birds. I need to not laugh like a
God fucking damn it.
Aren't you glad you're getting this bad luck out of the way before the other scene starts?
Yeah, totally. It's not like I'm learning a gift that I find crucial to the following mission. But that's okay. Okay.
Yeah, Clay doesn't quite snarl out loud, but he manages to make himself beefy and comes up beside Here Comes the Boom and looms very convincingly, and the bear kind of jerks back, startled, with a kind of bear woof, and starts to puff up itself.
Oh shit. I forgot I have another dice.
Oh, roll that.
Yeah, because yeah, elephant.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Fuck me.
You are fucking convincing. That's a great roll there, buddy.
Not a great roll I want. That's a great roll I have.
So as you come up to offer your help, Here Comes the Boom rounds on you and snaps at your face. You know, those teeth clicking together just inches from your nose and your cheeks. He bites several times, but he just bites at the air. He doesn't bite Clay.
Mm-hmm.
What does Clay do?
That is a leader. That is somebody higher up than him. That is somebody that is not a Metis, basically telling him to back the fuck off. So he's gonna do that very quickly.
Okay. When you do, the bear stays put. It doesn't run off. It doesn't attack anybody. There's another conversation between them, and then very reluctantly, it takes one step forward and stretches out its nose towards Clay, sniffing. Those huge nostrils. Here comes the boom is watching you.
I assume. I assume at this point, um, if the bear is assuming something that is not threatening, I can assume something that is not threatening.
Your best bet is to watch Here Comes the Boom. Like, Clay can't read this bear's body language at all, but
Oh yeah.
but he can guess based on the way that Here Comes the Boom has reacted that an aggressive response would probably not be appreciated. I should mention that Here Comes the Boom's Hispo form, and he's actually probably in Lupus, not Hispo. He's a Bonar, and he's not a big man or a big wolf. He's kind of a small, scrawny sort of wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Scarred and battered and thin. You can count bones if you're into that kind of thing. So Clay deferring to this mangy old thing is something to watch, and the bear's watching very intently.
He would look at Here Comes Boom, and he will look at the bear, and his ears will flatten, but not flatten back in threatening, but flatten sort of horizontal.
Mm-hmm.
And his muzzle will lower to the ground, and there will be a light whimper.
Here Comes the Boom says, tell him what you have for him for Chiminage. Tell me, I'll pass it on. And the bear comes forward, sniffing Clay very intently.
I understand it is their time of sleep. I've hunted as they do in the waters to find the prey that they do. And thanks for coming. The chiminage I plan is not chiminage that is immediate. It is chiminage for the spring. Though their physical being may not be welcome on the Sept grounds, I will leave an open jar of honey in front of every building on Sept, so that their spirits may be welcome. And on the first day of spring, in the garden that I planned for this Sept, garden of healing, the garden of peace, I will welcome bees and tend to them myself.
You get that awful bear breath, which, honestly, if you were in Hamid, it might be awful. If you're in Hispo and Lupus, it's not that bad. It's the natural smell. The rotten meat breath. As the bear kind of sniffs you all over. And Here Comes the Boom says something. You can tell that there are words being spoken, but it's not in any language that you recognize. And as the bear looms over you, sniffing, it moves a little bit closer, and you feel its nose actually pressing into your fur. And then you feel kind of a tingle spread from its nose out to the tip of every hair on your body. It feels warm. It washes the memory of the icy stream out of you, like a mother's tongue, like that sense of being safe and embraced and made whole again. And you understand in the bones of your body that it has accepted your offer of chiminage, and you know what it means to be a healer. And the gift is yours.
When this occurs, when his understanding is there, his nose will touch dirt, and he doesn't look at "Here Comes a Bone." He says, "Please translate this as I say it."
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You can tell that he is passing information. It's not as crude as speaking noises, but in the speech of the spirits, he is echoing you.
This Sept has given me many things in the short time that I have been with you. The first among them has been acceptance. I am not passed by as I was in my own Sept. I am not locked away as I was in my home Sept. Acceptance has shown to me that the blood that is on my hands, not always the blood that is my choice. That is why I wanted to learn this. To give them something back. To do something that wasn't hurting anybody. He thinks and he says, "Thank you, Spirit." From one monster something that is perceived to be monster, but isn't true.
Here comes the boom. It says amiably. He's sitting with his tail kind of wrapped around his feet. He says, the bear says, you make sure you don't forget. That you're a healer now, too. And don't forget in the spring.
He knows. One last offer. I understand this is your time of sleep, Spirit. In the memory of a man who used to read to me when I was a child, to ensure I was not alone. I would read to you a story so you may go to sleep.
You hear kind of a chuff of laughter from Here Comes the Boom, and he says, he accepts your story.
It's not a new story. It's the story he used to read to me. And he will take a minute and he will shift back into Hamid. With the pants that are dedicated to him. The shirt isn't. The pants are. So he would pull a green book out of the back pocket. He'll flip a couple of pages. Takes a deep breath. He goes, Chapter 1. Unexpected party. In a hole in the ground, there lived a hop on a nasty, dirty, wet hole, filled with the ends of worms and an oozy smell. Nor yet a dry, bare, sandy hole, with nothing in it to sit down on or to eat. This was a hobbit hole, and that means comfort. And he proceeds to read him chapter 1 of The Hobbit.
Fabulous. Here Comes the Boom stays to translate. You'll owe him some chiminage for sitting there listening to chapter 1 of The Hobbit later. But,
That's okay.
But he accepts payment in coffee, that's fine. And he might stop by to make you read him chapter 2 later. But, yeah, I think that's everything we need.
Yep.
You are successful, and the bear falls asleep after listening to most of the chapter, and eventually the spirit just kind of fades.
Cool. Thank you, players, for playing. Watchers for watching. It's been another episode for Living Worlds of Darkness. Rage across New York. The Groove Venue. Have a good night.